We bought a Ferrari, specifically this one, because we wanted to build the world's first diesel Ferrari. And one day, Tavares said,
the Ferrari F355 was in a little bit of a fire. Actually, if you guys are looking for a project that you want to put something crazy in, I would love to see you guys do something with this.
You see, this car was owned by another YouTuber, Tyler Hoovey, and while he owned the car, it caught on fire on the road, probably because of a bad crimp on a fuel line. The car was completely totaled, but Tavares bought the vehicle anyway and found the last roof made by Ferrari for this car ever, then passed the torch to a couple idiots in Idaho that just want a Ferrari diesel rally car.
I mean, the good news is, like, the rear suspension would be really easy to long travel.
So we purchased the car, shipped it across the country, and bought an engine donor car with what we think is the coolest diesel we have ever seen.
Places you can't even lift, man. We bought this Volkswagen Touareg as an engine donor for the Ferrari. This is a really small car to have a V10 twin turbo diesel. That is a Matchbox car by comparison. It has a V10 twin turbo diesel engine. And to prove how powerful it is, we're gonna use it to tow the Ferrari body home.
Oh, it's gonna be so good seeing this all cleaned up. Get all the trash out of there. It's a good looking car. I mean, you know, I'll have to redo the paint and attach the roof and all, but
That makes it sound like such an easy process. Honestly, if Tavares hadn't cut the windshield off, it'd still look pretty cool.
yeah.
What were you thinking, dude? Just kidding, I've made dumb decisions too.
Places you can't even mow your grass.
Ethan didn't want to use this to tow out the Ferrari, but it's legit, man.
Like, this whole rear subframe is just so basic. Like, that's a factory Ferrari. Well, look, this one doesn't even wrap all the way around. Like, the whole thing is made out of square tube.
It actually kind of reminds me of a Changli.
Which is good for me, because it'll make it easy to work on, but like...
But if you paid $200,000 for this car.
Yeah! I mean, granted, the people that buy these cars never look at their subframes, but still.
This is where it happens. All the grind hard merch comes right out of here. My wife does it. That's why we have such good customer service. And this one I'm really excited about. We've been working on this for like 7 months. It's a play rug that's actually like a soft, squishy rug with a nice grippy base. Like it's a real play rug that you could put your Matchbox cars on and stuff.
Or you could use it for carpet in your car.
Yeah.
We should put this in the Ferrari.
That would be so sick.
Well, what do you think, little guys? Is this project Goose approved?
Before we get this Ferrari into the garage to work on it, it needs a bit of a bath. Never thought I'd see the day. We got a Ferrari in the shop! Also, look, brand new air filter. I don't know if that's for this, but we don't need it! We lifted the roof off of the Ferrari, and it is an absolute mess. There's all sorts of pieces and parts of the Ferrari. The wiring harness is melted, but we did find some very interesting things in the piles of stuff.
This looks like an evap system.
I don't think we need that. That's a Supra floor mat.
Oh, wow.
You should put that in your RAV4.
That would be funny, actually.
More for your pile. A windshield bubbly reflector thing. You want one?
Actually, yes. Somebody gave us their 2 cents on this car.
That is a massive oil cooler. It's a Lamborghini shirt in a Ferrari. 21 cents right here.
Oh, wonderful. We're already making money, Ethan.
Impressive. Look at that amplifier.
Wow.
Whoever installed that amp did a pretty solid job of tidying up the wires. It's already had a very strange life for a Ferrari, but it's about to get exponentially stranger. Even though most of the wiring harness was totally melted, I wanted to see if I could get the driver's side window to roll down so that it was out of the way and less likely to get damaged. I always go looking for way more complicated things, but this should do the trick. Wow, got it right the first try. The dashboard in this car is pretty cooked from the fire. I'm sure somebody could restore it and reupholster it, but that's not what we're going for here. We're building a race car.
She cleaned up nice.
Yeah, not terrible.
Didn't even look like this when it was at Tavares's garage.
Look, that was empty. Wow. This is all parts that are like
Worth keeping.
potentially useful. This is emissions crap. But I'll at least do a quick eBay search to see if it's worth more than like $10.
It's literally just like a tin can, like that you put beans in.
Isn't that hilarious?
It's a Ferrari.
Dude, yeah. Just shows you. You know the old saying about beauty being only skin deep? Might apply to Italian cars too.
Bonus bolts hit 100,000 subscribers, and this is Grindhard's first play button that will be signed by the new CEO.
Wow.
Look at that. Neil Moen. Last one was Susan, right?
I have no idea. You think I keep track of these things?
Grindhard.
I know what engines belong in a Ferrari. You're the one who knows what the CEO of YouTube's name is. So talk about shrinkflation, man. What the hell is even that?
I know, right?
Look at this. What is that? It's like a YouTube plaque for ants.
It really
What is this? Pretty soon you'll be able to just like put it in your wallet.
You know, Set and Bent's almost at 70,000, so you guys should go subscribe so we can get one of these before shrinkflation shrinks it even more.
Got the Tundra in here, doing an oil change, and more importantly, installing some new bumpers. Got these beautiful bumpers from C4 Fabrication because the plastic ones that are stock, I didn't actually have to unbolt it, mostly. We'll say that. It was already...
I bet you were able to just grab it and just go...
Pretty much, yeah. It had disassembled itself. And it has recovery points and a winch. I love this truck, but there's a few things that I cannot believe that Toyota did with it. One, not a single recovery point on the front from the factory. Nothing. You want to pull it out? Your best bet is to hook around the sway bar. Which is ridiculous. The other thing is, the whole bumper is plastic.
Well, it's not plastic anymore thanks to C4 Fabrication. And wait, there's more.
Exciting times, because we got a shipment from Custom Offsets with some shiny new wheels and tires for the Tundra. Woo! Look at that. And these wheels actually have a type of bead lock here. It's a new type of bead lock that these bolts go through the wheel inside and hold the bead against the outside lip, but they're DOT approved bead locks, which is extra cool. And one of the best parts about getting wheels and tires from Custom Offsets is you get free mounting and balancing and free shipping. And with Custom Offsets, you can even choose to get lug nuts that you know for sure are gonna fit your vehicle and your new wheels. Custom Offsets has over 125,000 tires and wheels in stock in their warehouse. Between November 27th and December 1st, one winner per day will have their order refunded in full. The winners will be posted on socials and contacted via email. All orders over $250 are entered to win free Milwaukee tools. And the biggest discounts of the year happen Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So click the link and go check it out. Get yourself some sweet new wheels and tires. Wow. Not much of a Ferrari, is it?
No.
Clappy, clappy.
They're dancing. They're dancing.
He knows all the tricks.
Bang!
Now that the Ferrari body is all cleaned up, we're gonna take the Touareg for a rip around the track and see how it does off-road. But Chris kept calling it a Touareg, and I just couldn't take it anymore.
We were both wrong. It's not Touareg.
I never said it was Touareg.
Hey, EGG.
That's exactly what I
No,
said!
That's not what you said. That's
Chris,
not
you
what
can't
you
change
said.
your stories.
You're
Even
changing it again.
I said Touareg. Touareg, like an egg that you eat. That's exactly what I said.
It's Touareg, EGG.
Well, you don't enunciate
Not
the egg.
AGG, not
I
ag
didn't
like
say
that.
ag.
The way you bicker is exactly like an old married couple.
I know.
Because that's exactly about how long you've known each other. You ready to see some action, Chris?
Yeah.
I just have the feeling that Ethan has a lot of pimped up full send because recently it's been like...
Pimped up?
Pinned up. Did I say pimped?
Pent.
P-E-N-T. It's not
Really?
penned, P-E-N-E-D, it's pent.
Pent.
I've been
Pent-up
saying
energy.
that wrong my whole
And
life.
it's definitely not pimped up energy. He's going for another lap.
That was a huge hit.
That's like 20 foot.
You know what Touareg stands for?
Freaking trophy truck, man! This thing has insanely good suspension. That was so smooth of a landing for how big of a jump that was in a totally stock car. At the bottom, I did almost do your prediction of hitting a tree. Puddle at the bottom of the hill, I hit that and just hydroplaned right out of the track and just went all the way across the field.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm not used to rallying with completely bald tires.
What'd I tell you about the pent up energy, Chris? He hasn't been able to rally anything like this in a long time.
The problem with letting him rally it like this, Edwin, is now he's just gonna want to keep it. We're gonna have to find a new engine.
What'd I tell you, Chris?
That kid, he's got some issues. I taught him well.
This thing is a tank.
I think that's actually the best real vehicle
Landing of this jump ever. Oh yeah.
ever.
It landed flat too. It didn't land super nose heavy or tail heavy.
How fast were you going?
I didn't have time to look at the speedometer.
Pretty fast.
I was just going off of the butt-dometer for how fast I needed to go.
Well, you nailed it.
The old butt dyno. I really get why there's such a cult following for these Touaregs, because we've proven this thing is amazing at high speed and jumps. Now we're gonna see how it does with a bit of crawling over some wet logs, mud, and rocks. Dude, I want one of these now. Like, it's such a good car. Despite its extreme capability, I managed to get the Touareg stuck because one of the rear wheels was in a hole and it was high-centered on a stump, which seemed like a great excuse to get out the Humvee.
funny just seeing like a regular old mom car just rally through our track, man.
Having a Ferrari in the shop.
Yeah, who would have thought?
Right?
We're a long way from our $150 crunchy taco.
Yeah. Or our $150 BMW.
Yeah. 150 was just the price in the early days.
It's about what we had. To make room in the shop for the Touareg and the Ferrari, we had to move out the trike. So we drove it over and put it in the old shop. Think of how good that sounds, and that's an inline 4. Traditionally the lamest sounding engine, aside from maybe a V6. Now imagine the V10 version of that with 2 turbos.
Oh man.
Surprisingly, the monster trike actually just barely fits into the old shop where this all started 7 years ago. You know, this is way easier to work on than we had the Ford Ranger in here.
Yeah.
But,
Full circle.
man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You wouldn't have much room to do your like rigging when you were holding
Nope.
it up to build this.
There's some fond memories, but I would never want to go back to it.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy to see our latest, most complicated project in the old shop where all of this started, and to see just how small of a space we were working in with no insulation and very few tools. It's been a wild ride from that point to where we are now. I highly doubt they'll fit, and it probably wouldn't make any sense, but after driving this thing a bit, I've been seriously contemplating trying to use these air shocks in the Ferrari build. They're insanely good, and it would be really cool to be able to have that, like, low or high option. This thing was just Volkswagen literally just being like, look at how good our engineers are. That's all this car was about.
Yeah.
They were just like, look what we can do.
What has it got in its pockets?
A checkbook. Nice.
Nice.
I haven't worn this jacket in a while.
When we were teenagers, it was much more popular.
Yeah, for the Gen Zers, a check is this thing that's like fake money until it appears at the other person's bank.
Yeah.
And then it transfers the money from your bank to their bank.
I remember my mom writing checks at the grocery store.
Oh yeah, and like everyone in line is like, ugh.
Yeah.
Steven brought some goodies for Chris, and we were wondering if he actually ate it before he left.
There's evidence of Chris being here. Something about Chris and razor blades. When we were on that MTV road trip, I had to put away so many knives. They were just like on the middle, rattling around.
I like how
this.
that's his solution to cut a piece of cake was just a razor blade.
It's a slick, man. And this thing was just trundling through the mud.
Yeah.
Imagine how unstoppable it'd be with better tires.
We didn't even air these things down. Look at these A-arms. They're solid cast iron, not cast aluminum. Look at that.
Wow.
That is the most overkill A-arm I've ever seen. It makes the ones on my Tundra look wimpy.
No wonder why it jumps so well.
The spindle is cast iron too. It has no mufflers, just turbos and cats. But it has 4 catalytic converters, so, you know, that's part of why it's quiet. We were all a little bummed to be tearing apart this awesome car. But just before we started pulling the engine, this car was saved by the bell. Specifically, the ding of an Instagram message. Plot twist. I posted an Instagram story yesterday on my personal page of me driving that home. And I just teased and said, what do you think we're doing with this car? What do you think it is? Somebody guessed V10 TDI correctly. And I said, yup. And then he responded and said, I have a totaled one that's deleted and tuned and has brand new turbos in Coeur d'Alene, if you want it. So we're gonna go buy that for way less than we paid for this. And then this one can live on as a functional car. Maybe it can be our new company truck for a while. Well, this thing got saved by the bell. It was moments away from its engine being yoinked. And then we got a better option. Plus then, you know, if we really need it, we have a whole spare vehicle of parts.
Well, this is a win-win. It gives Ethan and I more time to work on the Ferrari, and we don't have to destroy a perfectly good Volkswagen.
While we're waiting for the totaled Touareg to be delivered, I'm gonna go ahead and strip out the rest of the wiring harness in the Ferrari. Not all of the harness is melted, but it makes sense to just tear the whole thing out and avoid future problems. Also, we would be using almost none of the original Ferrari wiring anyway. In my efforts to kind of get this wiring harness out of here, obviously a lot of this would be useful, but one, much of it is melted. Two, this end that went back to the engine and everything back there was just cut at the firewall and melted. And three, I don't think we're gonna really be using any of the components. I mean, the only things that we'd be using would be like the headlights, the windows, and like some of the brake system and stuff. I think it'll be easier to just unplug all of those things and build a new wiring harness, because there's just so much here that we don't need. Look at this. It has a battery switch.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can turn all the power off so it doesn't drain the battery. In my search there, I found this thing has 3 fuse/relay boxes. There's this main one here under the floorboard. There's another one equally large over there. And then there's a third one here attached with the ECU. I bet this ECU is worth something. Ferrari computer. Just like every other computer, but more expensive. Looks like people at least think that these computers are worth a lot. Like $500, $4,000, $800. Just because it's listed doesn't mean that someone bought it. This is the bottom part, $300. I mean, we could, put a listing up, see if anybody wants it. The harness has been liberated. That is a lot of wiring. But something tells me it's not going to be anywhere near as much wiring as we're about to pull out of a Touareg. Despite the fact that the windshield in this car survived the fire, by the time we got it, it was just a bunch of shards of glass all over the floor. I want all the chunks out so I don't impale myself with some shards of broken glass. Where we're going, we don't need wheel speed sensors. No, we don't need wheel speed sensors. Why would we need that? That would be for silly things like ABS. Even though we might need a few of these electrical components in the future, I'm just gonna strip it all out of here right now and make that a future Ethan problem.
So yesterday there was evidence of Chris in these brownies. Today, there's evidence of Ethan in these brownies.
When there's brownies, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, man. Just as I was about out of prep work to do, the totaled Touareg showed up. And this Touareg is better for us in multiple ways, because not only is it totaled, but it has brand new turbos and a tuned ECU.
It's crazy how fast things can change. Yesterday we were rallying that thing, thinking, man, what a shame. This is such a good car. Well, now we have the perfect car pulling into our driveway.
Hey, thanks for bringing this to us.
Yeah, thanks for driving all the way up here. Yeah,
Jarek, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you. Tree fall on it?
I fell into a tree.
Oh, even more fun. We were super grateful to Jarek for delivering the Touareg to us and saving us many hours of driving. So we had to give him a tour of the property and show him some of the best builds.
Insane to see something like this in person.
Just draining out some of this transmission fluid into a specific jug. Quick and dirty ATF. It actually makes really good cutting oil too, so that's another reason to save it. That totally looks like a solid. There's absolutely no fluctuation in it. So it seems like basically disconnect all the driveline, well, the exhaust I already disconnected, all the hoses and wires, and then basically these 4 big bolts that hold this front cross member in, front subframe, those come out, and then the whole thing drops out of there, supposedly. I decided to go ahead and remove the entire exhaust system because it'll give me a bit more space for working on things. And this thing is just gonna be a parts car. It's never gonna drive again. So I might as well strip off any potentially useful parts while it's up on the lift. The inside of that fender liner, everything is full. There's no, normally there's a lot of empty space. This thing, nah. Every millimeter of space is packed full of stuff. This right here, that's a diesel heater.
Oh.
Because look, right down here, there's a teeny tiny little tube right there that's basically an exhaust pipe. There's diesel soot in there. What made me realize it is, one, it says something something German diesel. And then right there, those two lines go into the car through the firewall, and they look like heater lines. So that's a diesel heater so that your cab temperature can heat up really quickly, because this engine takes forever to warm up. Normally, I would take the time to find all the clips and screws holding all this plastic together, but this thing is so annoyingly over-engineered, I decided to go for a more destructive approach. Just this thing that holds the radiator there, like on the back side of it, like they couldn't just have a hole or whatever, no. It's got this that goes over there, and then a wire clip that holds it on. Like, it's so insanely overkill. This car is insanely over-engineered and incredibly complicated, but they did manage to make it so that the entire front of the car comes off, which makes it a lot easier to pull the engine. They do at least make them very, easy isn't the right word, but they make it come apart in a way that you can get to stuff. Like how easy this whole front clip just comes off. Like, it's a lot of steps, but then you just have access to everything. Whereas a lot of cars, the whole front cross member and stuff would all be part of the frame and it wouldn't be removable. 7 different coolers and about 1 million bolts later, the whole front of the car is off, which means we're a lot closer to pulling this engine out. Look at how much plastic is on this car. Like, pretty much that entire pile is all plastic, and it's all from just this front section.
I bet it makes pretty good gravel.
Every time it rains, all your gravel would just float away downstream.
I'd like to try it. No, I bet some of this stuff has a half-life of 250,000 years. I mean, it'll outlast the rocks.
I know, but that's the whole point. It's a bad thing for the environment, because it lasts forever, and then you're breathing it and eating it. This is kind of funny. This is a fuel cooler, or fuel heater, I guess. It could run either way. I just chucked it in my parts bucket, and then I looked down. I see one logo, Volkswagen, another one, Audi. KTM? What?
Huh?
Why? I mean, KTM is also Austrian, but that's bizarre. The whole backside of the engine, all around the firewall, was just filled with glass and pine needles, which made it very difficult to unplug all the wiring. But then I realized it would be a whole lot easier if I just removed the hood. Oh yeah, that's much better. Wow, I should have done that from the get-go for just lighting reasons. Man, we've only taken apart the front of this car, and it already takes up as much space as a whole car. Once all of the hoses and wires were disconnected, it turned out there was actually nothing but gravity holding the engine on top of the subframe. All the bolts that held them together were the same bolts that held the whole assembly of the car. So the engine just lifted right off of the subframe. Monumentally momentous moment! Yep, looks good. Keep going. Just push the button and hold it down. Hold it down, we're done, we're free. Keep going. Nice! It's massive. Look at the size of the transmission. That thing is huge. Yeah, look at the size of the transfer case. The transfer case is just from here all the way back. So this thing was electronically deleted, but not physically. All the EGR stuff is still there. Look at all those crustaceans from the EGR.
The coal factory.
Literally. I think I'm just going to take off these throttle bodies here, which are almost certainly going to be deleted anyway, because ain't need no throttle on a diesel, man. As it turns out, once you remove the subframe from the car, there's nothing look at that. It's not.
No, the subframe stayed right where it was, huh?
Yep. What should we call this thing when it's done? The Volkswagen or the Furwagon?
Well, you know where my vote is.
that's a specialty bolt right there. It's a 12 millimeter 175 with a 8 millimeter 125 head on it. What do you think, Sparky?
He likes it.
You ever been in a Ferrari, Sparky? Want to go sit in a Ferrari? Next step is to get the transmission separated from the engine, which should be just a few bolts. But then I realized one of the starter bolts was a size of spline socket that I did not have. Edwin's gonna be coming up later today. I'll wait for him to pick that up on his way up, and in the meantime, I'll continue stripping off some of the other unnecessary stuff and just, you know, cleaning this thing up. Here's another perfect example of Volkswagen being just kind of crazy with their bolts. There's one EGR pipe. These are triple square. This was a T30, and this was a 5 millimeter Allen. All on the same pipe. Why? Why not just Torx, Torx, Torx? I want to see what's under this plastic cover. What is even the point of this? That looks nicer. I figured it'd be all sorts of like weirdness under there. No, just a nice shiny aluminum valve cover. Weight reduction. While I was waiting for Edwin to show up with the right part, I stripped off most of the EGR system and cleaned off 200,000 miles worth of grease and grime. Time for a little bit of very satisfying degreasing here. I went ahead and pulled off the AC pump because we're not gonna need it and might as well get everything off before I clean this up. Look at how crazy this thing is. The pump itself is just a pump, but look at the drive system. It's got this plastic coupler, and then it drives off the backside of the power steering pump right here, which is driven off of the gear drive system at the back of the engine. Crazy complicated. I had another idea depending on fitment of this in the Ferrari. We could get any kind of turbo we wanted, and we could run the manifolds back here and put the turbos right there where you could see them through the back of the car and then straight out the back. I have all sorts of different ideas of what we could do with this engine and this car, but we really won't know for sure until we start putting them together. And just when I finished pressure washing the engine, Edwin showed up with the tool I needed. The engine itself, if you delete all of the emissions stuff, and you take out the factor of it being jam-packed into a Subaru Outback, yeah. It's actually not that complicated of an engine. Like, one of the most complicated parts is that all the accessory drives are back here. But in a mid-engine Ferrari, that makes them easier to get to. This thing, it has no timing belt, no timing chain, no serpentine belt. The only thing that fails mechanically on these is the cams. They just wear out because the cams are what's driving the fuel pressure for the injectors. Each injector is fired by the cam. It's the most unicorn engine that you could get your hands on. We need to set this down, otherwise that transmission is just gonna go BLAM! And fall off. I was getting ahead of myself. You grab the transfer case, I'll grab the engine. 1, 2.
You're sliding my whole body, it's so slippery over here.
Yeah. Time to find out how much our big chungus of an engine weighs here. 774 pounds. That is a chungus of an engine. That's a lot heavier than I expected. We finally have our new power plant all stripped down and cleaned up, and this engine is an engineering masterpiece. There's not a single belt on the entire engine. All of the accessories are gear-driven, and it's just so much more impressive and complicated than I even knew when we started this project.
Dang, it could almost just slide
It
right
almost
in.
drops
Without
right in.
those cross supports, it really would. Dang, look at that.
Yeah, I mean, it'll fit. It just needs a little rearranging. So make sure you subscribe to see the world's first diesel Ferrari come to life here in our shop. And don't forget to head over to grindhardplumbingco.com to get entered to win a Ford Raptor.